of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, former police officer convicted of sexual assault in Corozal Magistrates Court. Plus, we will tell you about a police officer who was charged for alleged social media harassment of outgoing Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. We also take a deep look at how Belize's government will address U.S. tariff impact. And we take you to Bishop Martin High School and Orange Walk IT Vet for their annual Open Day. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, April 4th, 2025.
Coming soon, Pro FC 16. Get ready for an electrifying night of combat sports as Pro FC takes over the Princess Vegas Hotel and Casino in Corozal on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Witness 14 adrenaline-fueled fights featuring the fiercest competitors from Belize, Mexico, Canada, and Guatemala, all battling for glory and supremacy in the ring. Pro FC 16. Don't just watch the action. Be part of it. Pro FC 16, exclusive on the Express Plus app.
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. In a significant ruling late on Wednesday, Reginald Dago, a 43-year-old police officer currently on interdiction, was found guilty of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old minor in the Corozal Magistrates Court. The incident occurred on March 28, 2021, when Dago gave the girl a ride from Libertad to Corozal and took her to a seaside area where the assault allegedly took place. Despite denying the allegations, Dago admitted to providing the girl with transportation and claimed he believed that she was an adult. He also suggested that she was coerced by other officers into making the accusations. However, the court rejected these claims, citing a lack of evidence supporting coercion and noting that Dago knew the victim's mother, which contradicted his assertion that he did not know the girl was a minor. The prosecution, led by attorneys Dercine Steen and Alifa Elbrington, presented 6 witnesses, while Dago represented himself and testified in his own defense without calling any witnesses. The magistrate found the prosecution's witnesses to be credible and reliable, particularly highlighting a recent complaint made by the victim shortly after the incident, which corroborated her testimony and that of a female police constable. Dago has been allowed to remain on his $4,000 bail pending sentencing. The court has requested a social inquiry report, and a mitigation plea hearing is scheduled for April 30, 2025, when an appropriate sentence will be determined. The case underscores the ongoing challenges faced by law enforcement agencies in maintaining public trust and ensuring accountability among their ranks. Officer Barrington Gilbert Mai, also known as Barry Flowers, has been arraigned for allegedly using social media to ridicule outgoing Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. The incident has sparked significant attention and controversy, particularly as Williams prepares to leave his post after a 3-term tenure. Mai, a resident of Carmelita Village in the Orange Walk district, was escorted to the Belize City Magistrates Court under tight security. To avoid media scrutiny, he was discreetly taken into the courthouse through a rear entrance. In court, Mai faced a single charge related to using a computer system to publish obscene and vulgar data. The charge stems from a social media post dated April 2, 2025, which reportedly contained offensive remarks directed at Commissioner Williams. The post included statements such as, "Thank God this a-hole is gone," which Williams claimed was a direct attack on his character and reputation. Mai appeared in court unrepresented and pleaded not guilty to the charge. Despite no objection to bail, the prosecution requested specific conditions to be imposed. The senior magistrate granted bail at $5,000 plus one surety of the same amount, or two sureties of $2,500 each, which Mai was able to meet. As part of his bail conditions, Mai is prohibited from interfering with Commissioner Williams, his family, or any prosecution witnesses. He must also maintain a minimum distance of 25 feet from Williams and his relatives. Any violation of these conditions could result in bail revocation. Mai's next court appearance is scheduled for June 4, 2025. This case adds to the mixed reactions surrounding Commissioner Williams' departure, who recently received a one-month extension before officially leaving his post. Williams, 51, has served 3 terms as Commissioner of Police, and his exit has been met with both praise and criticism from various quarters. The legal action against Mai highlights the ongoing challenges and the controversies within the Belizean police force during this transition period. While the outgoing Commissioner of Police, Chester Williams, viewed it necessary to discipline a fellow officer by taking him to court, others are describing the move as an abuse of power. Former leader of the opposition, Moses Shine Barrow, has raised concerns regarding what he perceives as an abuse of authority by outgoing Commissioner of Police Chester Williams. This follows a criminal prosecution of a police officer accused of making a derogatory comment about Williams. In a statement released on Thursday, Barrow condemned what he sees as a selective application of the law, suggesting it poses a threat to free speech. He questioned the implications of prosecuting a police officer for allegedly insulting Commissioner Clyde Williams, stating, "If another officer referring to former Compole Clyde Williams in a derogatory manner is grounds for criminal charge, it raises serious concerns about the application of this law and whether it constitutes an infringement on free speech." Chester Williams remains in his position until Dr. Richard Rosado officially assumes the role in the coming weeks. Barrow emphasized that public figures should expect criticism as part of their roles, citing his own experiences with harsh remarks and threats. "I have faced worse insults and public threats, yet when these were brought to Clyde Williams' attention, he chose not to act," Barrow remarked. He further criticized the pattern of behavior exhibited by Williams, noting, first, Chester had his brother Arthur Williams arrested for criticizing him on social media. Then he pursued legal action against Nicole McDonald for her comments, which resulted in her losing her job. Now an officer is facing prosecution for allegedly cyberbullying Chester. "This is alarming," Barrow asserted. No public official, whether elected or appointed, should wield their position to silence dissent through criminal prosecution. While acknowledging that free speech carries certain responsibilities, Barrow argued that civil remedies should be pursued in cases of alleged defamation rather than criminal charges. In instances of alleged defamation, the civil court are equipped to provide relief. If false information is being disseminated maliciously, the law should be applied fairly to anyone, but just those who offend the esteemed Chester. End of quote. In a response to the recent imposition of a 10% reciprocal tariff on Belizean exports by the United States, the Belizean government has convened a high-level meeting to evaluate the potential economic fallout and develop strategies for mitigation. The meeting, held in the capital city of Belmopan, included key ministers and senior officials from various government sectors, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Transformation, and the Central Bank of Belize. The decision to impose the tariff announced by U.S. officials is seen as a significant shift in trade policy that could jeopardize Belize's long-standing preferential trade status. For over 4 decades, Belize has benefited from duty-free access to the U.S. market under the Caribbean Basin Initiative (CBI), established in 1983. However, the new policy threatens to disrupt this arrangement, particularly affecting key exports such as sugar, seafood, and citrus products, which have been vital to the Belizean economy.
Well, in the case of citrus, I don't think that there's any significant export of citrus concentrate or citrus products to the U.S. So I won't delve too much into that one there. In the case of sugar, sugar being exported from Belize to the U.S., you have a quota. My understanding is that quota remains in place, so that's not affected. So there remains that trade that will continue for sugar. Plus, you have in effect a related party exporting to another related party to the U.S. So in the case of sugar, we are having those discussions with the key exporter in that case, and trying to get a better understanding of what will be the expected outcomes as it relates to the application of the tariff. Also, the broader economic effects that could impact on these or sectors like the tourism sector. I wouldn't want to make any guesses as to what will be the impact of these tariffs when in fact they haven't even been implemented and we don't know where ultimately they will land. So we're early in the day to say that there will be an adverse effect on the tourism sector.
While at a local level, all angles are being analyzed, discussions are also taking place at a multilateral level, starting with a meeting of CARICOM's heads earlier today.
April 9th, there is also to be a further meeting of CARICOM. I think that will be more technical discussions, and the U.S. tariff will be a key agenda item for discussion on that. In preparation for that, I believe foreign trade is doing quite a bit of analysis, and we'll have those engagements with our key exporters to the U.S. to appreciate what are their concerns and what advocacy they are looking forward to.
While the tariff is applied universally to all U.S. trading partners, Belizean authorities are mindful that this may mitigate any direct disadvantages the country might face. Nevertheless, they express caution regarding the long-term implications for exports and foreign exchange revenues. Coming up next, we take you to the Northern Regional Hospital for the groundbreaking of the $1 million pediatric wing. Stay tuned.
Coming soon, Pro FC 16. Get ready for an electrifying night of combat sports as Pro FC takes over the Princess Vegas Hotel and Casino in Corazon on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Witness 14 adrenaline-fueled fights featuring the fiercest competitors from Belize, Mexico, Canada, and Guatemala, all battling for glory and supremacy in the ring. Pro FC 16. Don't just watch the action. Be part of it. Pro FC 16, exclusive on the Express Plus app.
In a bid to bolster the workforce within the public health sector, Cabinet on Tuesday approved a retention package consisting of allowances for nurses employed in the system. This initiative will be rolled out in phases and is designed to retain highly skilled and technically proficient nursing staff. According to Minister of State, Ministry of Finance and Economic Development, Chris Koyi, the move will hopefully see the employment of more nurses into system.
The retention package includes a slew of allowances to, as it says, seek to keep nurses as part of the public sector workforce on a continuing basis, enhancing the compensation to them. Nurses, the data on it, we've been losing quite a bit of nurses to better paying jurisdictions, if you will. And that certainly does not bode well for health services provided by our public sector. So it's important that we not only retain, but look to attract more nurses into the public sector and in effect train more nurses to build and rebuild the provision of health services. As far as the sourcing of funding for it, I mean, it's nothing new. We are in the process of finalizing the budget for the fiscal year that we're basically about to be or are in, and that those funds come from tax revenues. We are not at this point looking to increase any taxes whatsoever, but we are looking at ways to enhance tax collection.
And still on the topic of the retention package, the approval of the package for nurses in public service, according to Health Minister Honorable Kevin Bernard, was a commitment made since the start of his tenure in the Ministry of Health. The approval of this commitment, according to Bernard, will see benefits provided to nurses over a period of 3 years, amounting to an additional $4 million.
When we looked at the whole nursing issue, when I became the minister, this nursing package allowance, compendium of allowances, has been there for a while, and they have been clamoring for these things. I think it was way back in 2012 when the nurse first got an adjustment to their, and they have been constantly looking at ways and means how they could get adjusted. Now, when we took the paper to cabinet, we looked at various allowances that we want to approve, but we decided as well that instead of having the full bulk of the allowances applied within this first year, let's look at the phase-in approach. So in the phase-in approach, we are looking that in this first, in May, and we already met with Public Service Ministry of Finance to see how we are going to ensure that from the recurrent budget we are able to pay these allowances to our nurses. We are going to increase the uniform allowance from 300 to 500, and that will also come in line with what KHMH offers their nurses. And then there is also the specialty allowance for specialized nurses. I think there's a 10% of their annual salary will be paid as an allowance, and so it's also an incentive to try and ensure that we could retain our nurses and not continue to lose our nurses. And then in the second phase in April of 2026, there's going to be another set of allowances. I believe it's a night allowance, people who have to be called on night allowance, and so then the last phase will be all other allowances that are on the compendium of allowances. And there's a few amount, and it totals about, when we do all the entire package together, by the time we do that, it would work out about almost $4 million in allowances that are afforded per year for the nurses. So as a minister, and having spoken at the nurses conference last year, we made that commitment, and I said to Nurse Bell, let's ensure that we push as fast as we can to get this retention package in. And so I was able to take the paper to cabinet, and everybody wholeheartedly supported, because they value our nurses, they value our healthcare professionals, and we're trying to do this across the ministry in terms of how we are looking to how to ensure that we could not only expect and expect work from them, but we want to ensure that they are properly compensated for the level of work that they had to do. And the nurses is just one category of healthcare professionals that have done a lot of significant work across this country. They are our first contact. They are the ones who are there beside the patient every single day to ensure that they can provide that necessary care. They are the listening ear. They are sometimes the sympathizers and empathizers for people who come and need healing and look for hope, or when they have to care and have a shoulder to lean on for somebody who may have lost loved ones. And so the nurses do a lot. They leave their homes, they come here, and they take care of the patients. And that's one of the things that I applaud our nurses for. And so this is just but as a part of the gratitude that we have to provide, but also a compensation so that they can also continue to live better lives. Thank you.
And as we told you yesterday, to streamline land tax collection efforts, Cabinet transferred responsibilities for land tax collection to the Belize Tax Service, BTS, initiating a phased transition process over the year. This transition involves interagency coordination and the utilization of the online ERIS platform for assessment, billing, and collection to enhance efficiency and compliance.
We feel, based on analysis, based on reports, I think the IMF Fiscal Affairs Department did an analysis which indicated the low rate of collections on land tax. And so we really do have to do something about that. And we feel that with BTS and the authorities or powers of enforcement it will certainly incentivize land taxpayers to pay their taxes.
The annual Open Day Expo hosted by Bishop Martin High School here in Orange Walk Town kicked off this morning at the school's compound, where students from all 4 levels were provided with an opportunity to showcase a portion of what they have learned throughout the school year. This year's event centered around 4 main pillars of academics, including business, science, social studies, and agriculture. Our news team dropped by during today's event and filed the following report.
Today, Bishop Martin High School hosted its annual Academic Open Day at the school grounds here in Orange Walk Town. The event, which has been taking place for many years, provides students from all levels of the institution an opportunity to showcase their knowledge and experience in areas of business, science, agriculture, and most recently, social studies. The Open Day is also a window of opportunity for visitors to experience firsthand what students have been working on since the beginning of the school year.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to Bishop Martin High School's Open Day. Open Day is an annual event that we do here at Bishop Martin High School to showcase the students' competency skills. And given that this year, actually, we did a twist to it because it's normally a business science fair. But this year, we incorporated other subjects to allow it to be in line with competency based. So we are doing cross-curricular. So we have displays in science, we have displays in business, agriculture, Caribbean history, and social studies. So in social studies, the students are doing using recycled material to make products that they can use to sell. When it comes to agriculture, the students are identifying one product that they can use to make a business out of it. So they have created their own handmade products to sell and to show the people that we can make something out of agricultural products here in Belize. So we are all aiming towards sustainability. When it comes to the businesses, we're showcasing entrepreneurship. So the students are working together as a team to create a business, so that each person has a role to play. We have the person that deals with marketing, the other person that deals with finance. So everyone has a role we can realistically see how it really happens in the real world. And in science, the students are identifying they are doing problem solving, they're doing experiments, they're identifying different issues in the Belizean context and seeing how they can find solutions to these different things. So it is more of a hands-on approach to what the students are doing. A project like this allows the entire Orange Walk community for them to see exactly what our students are doing. Oftentimes our teachers are inside the classroom behind the scenes doing things, and the parents and the community, they don't find out what they're doing. So this allows them to see firsthand what our students are capable of doing and the skills and the competencies that they have mastered from the beginning of the school year until now.
Students began preparations for today's event months in advance. Weeks of hard work and dedication culminated today in a magnificent showing which included elaborate booths which featured a wide array of ideas, each with unique names, brands, and styles. For business student Joshani Carballo and her team from Sips of Justice, the task was to see their business concept of superhero-themed frozen drinks take off from idea to reality.
In all honesty, it's so surreal to have our product, something that was once just a little idea, just a little pitch, be something that we are actually selling and that people are actually enjoying. The process was a big one, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard having all of this set up. But with our team, we were able to do it, and it feels so great to have our product be on sale.
Now, I noticed that your part of the business was marketing. If you could talk to us a little about what that entailed, a little about what you had to do, and just the challenges for you specifically in this area.
Okay, so the marketing was mostly about creating our products, marketizing it, making sure that people are known of our product, creating our flyers, our tickets, incorporating our business colors. And for me, the process of marketing, I'm a very creative person, so it wasn't really that hard. What was the hardest and challenging part was getting everything done and set for the actual day. But it was really fun being able to do something that I really like, because I personally really like marketing, and be able to express my creativity. As a business major myself, it does feel like something I would like to do. I really like I said, marketing and advertising and graphic designing, so it does feel like something I'd be able to do in the future.
For sophomore students, their job was to add a Belizean flair as they created innovative products while incorporating local ingredients of Belize.
Our product is basically a natural coconut exfoliator with only 3 ingredients. It has no chemicals and it's very cheap.
Yes. So our product is a very cheap product. We are selling this 4 ounce for $5 and this 2 ounce for $2.50. So our product is very cheap compared to other sellers.
Okay, well, we had originally planned on creating more of a coffee ground exfoliator, but when we realized that was a little too expensive for the budget that we had to do a little research on it, and we ended up coming up with the idea of a sugar scrub.
Now, talk to us a little about just the process that you guys underwent to have this from just an idea to now having this actual product.
Okay, so from the idea that we had, we were making how my colleague said, we were trying to make a coffee scrub, and this came about because we saw that it was more cheaper, and for this to come out like this, we did various trials. We had to experiment with the types of sugar, like white sugar and brown sugar. We chose brown sugar because it's more takes longer to dissolve, and basically trying different things based on what benefits more to the people.
And why did you guys decide to choose coconut as your agriculture product from Belize?
Okay. The coconut basically came from how it was easy to access here in Belize.
Science students from all 4 levels took on the challenge of creating an innovative experiment in areas of biology, chemistry, and even physics, all with the goal of making Belize a better place.
The project is about how we can find a more meaningful way to deal with plastic pollution. So we've tried to repurpose these plastics and turn them into something more meaningful, something that will have a purpose. Our project here deals with these type of plastics. The plastics found in everyday households. I know for a fact that many families use these when washing. They have it, it's their to-go item. But the question is, what do they do with it? How do they dispose of it? Where does it end up in? Instead of having these questions, let's find a solution for that. And that's what my group did. We took these plastics and we repurposed them into a brick. Many people would question it. Is this durable, more durable compared to a commercial brick, the one sold in stores? Well, see for yourselves. It did not break. But if we were to use one of these, it's just a piece, but let me show you. Bricks. So that clearly shows that our plastic bricks are better than these commercial bricks, and they have better properties and are more environmentally friendly compared to those one in stores.
Though cooking oil is commonly used here in Belize and globally all around the world, usually used for sauteing, cooking, frying, or baking. So our experiment, what we did is to determine what cooking oil is considered the healthiest and what cooking oil is considered the least healthiest.
This was done by testing the level of unsaturation of unsaturated fat content in the oils from 4 commonly Belizean used cooking oils: Nutri-Olive oil, 123 oil, coconut oil, and olive oil. Now, in the end of this experiment, we found that the healthiest oil is the olive oil and the unhealthiest oil is the coconut oil.
We chose this project because you see how a lot of people, like, for example, Valentine's Day, you get flowers from your special someone, your husband, your boyfriend, and you want to keep the flowers alive, lasting as a memory, right? So we chose this project because you want to know how to keep your roses alive. So our experiment is that we have 4 different water solutions: aspirin, Clorox, water, and sugar, and we use those different water solutions to determine which one works best on roses' longevity and freshness.
We expected for the sugar water to last the longest because it provides nutrients to the roses, and in the end, the sugar and the aspirin, they two were one of the best solutions that we tried, and it worked out well, very well.
Then we took them we tried them for a week and see which one would what would be the results of each one of the flowers, and we have pictures from Monday to Sunday, a whole week of just testing how would it come out.
One of the hardest things that we faced was deciding on certain things, because some of us wanted to do, for example, we had trouble deciding on who would take the experiment home, how would we monitor it and everything like that. But something I think we'd always remember is that it's good to work together.
The newest additions to the event were social studies presentations, which focused on creating products using recycled materials, and Caribbean studies, which highlighted our region's history with slavery.
So our product is based on coconut shells. The project idea was 90% recycled materials and 10% artificial goods. So we chose the coconut shells as the 90% recycling materials. And what we have here is candle holders, and we have mini jewelry holders as well. So we came up with this idea as we were brainstorming. We were like, we don't know what exactly we're going to do. So we chose the candle holders because we know that we have certain individuals who love a nice smelling candle in their office, in their homes, or in their room. So that's why we chose the candle holders. And we have some creative jewelry holders because we know there's people who love to have their jewelry, well organized, and so that's why we chose this as our project. Well, as what we could see, an environment, we see a lot of coconut shells just being thrown out, looking like just a huge pile of garbage. So what we wanted is we want to take these coconut shells and transform them into something creative. So we're hoping that with this we may be able to reduce a little bit of pollution in some way. So
Our presentation is about how Caribbean slaves, African slaves, were controlled physical, mentally, psychological, and cultural.
So we found out that there was physical control. They used to control the slaves by whipping with harsh and different types. They used to have the slaves working under the sun, and
And the psychological part, they used to call them names like Negro or Negro, and they didn't allow them to take their African traditions with them. They weren't allowed to do anything about their culture. They were strictly, and they enforced the European cultural on them, and also justified what they were doing using Christianity on them too, saying that they're doing it because that's what the Christians say. It really touched our heart, Zile, especially when our teacher, Mr. Rivas, was telling us more about it. And it's a really interesting topic, and it's more, it's growing us in our knowledge and what we learned about this. And it's really harsh what they used to do them. We have some pictures also that the public can take a look at.
Presentations from science, business, and agriculture students were judged throughout the day, and winners were announced in each category. Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Ruiz.
Adjacent to Bishop Martin High School, the Orange Walk IT Vet held its biannual expo and trade fair today. The institution, deemed as one of the leading IT vets across the country, today welcomed hundreds of students and members of the community at large who had the opportunity of witnessing the work of trainees enrolled in the different programs. Norma Ruiz reports.
Today, the Orange Walk Institute for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, IT Vet, opened its doors to thousands of students and visitors from across the country as they hosted their biannual expo and trade fair. The event is one designed to feature mainly works from students of various technical and vocational education and training programs through various on-site presentations. Organizers say the expo is aimed at creating a lasting bond between the school and the community at large.
Well, it's a high level of ingenuity with our trainees. You'll be able to see a solar-powered rickshaw, a little tuk-tuk. It's all solar-powered. We also have our buildings solar-powered. We have a cold room that was set up by the AC and refrigeration trainees, so it simulates how a central air unit works. In AutoCAD, you'll be able to see 3D models of our institution, which the trainees did from scratch, blueprints. In auto mechanics, you'll be able to see the guys doing their hands-on work. In welding, all of the mastercraft that they've done in welding and plumbing as well, hands-on. So it's an array of projects, carpentry, everyone in general construction. You'll see the hard work that these guys have put into to build the walls and do the tiling and everything from scratch. So I must say, giving my spin yesterday, I was amazed. I was really amazed by the hard work put in on behalf of our trainees and my colleagues as well.
Apart from viewing completed projects displayed in each department, spectators and, more importantly, potential employers had the opportunity of receiving first-hand information directly from students.
Well, this is our major marketing event for our institution. So aside from the trainees showcasing what they've learned, it's an opportunity for schools, as you've said, to come in, and the students to come in and see what we have to offer, so they know that we are an option when it comes to extending or expanding in their educational field. In the terms of the business community and industry, it's a good opportunity for them to come in and scout out prospective employers as well. So it's twice-fold. And then, of course, for the parents, it's a great opportunity for them to come and feel proud of what their sons and daughters have presented today.
There are over 9 different trades currently being offered at the Orange Walk IT Vet, which remains one of the leading technical and vocational students in the country. Our team focused on 2 of the most popular areas of study. The first was electrical, where students showcase their works since the start of their training.
Now, in the Orange Walk IT Vet, we emphasize on safety. If you see this booth, it's all about safety, dealing with safety, all the consequences. They're showing safety of tools. This starts with level 1, safety. You have to do a lot of safety. We have to take care as an electrician, every trade, but we need to take care, especially electricians. But for you to take care as an electrician, it's not only about the tools, it's about your knowledge. So we have tools, we have appliances. If you see that booth, they're teaching about ground, the importance of ground. And this booth by my side is about appliance, how to protect your appliances, how to fix appliances, the different components. And the other booth is dealing about everything with installation, all the materials, all the components about materials, how to bend it, started with the plants, etc. They have a wide and the basic ideas in level 1. They are fully prepared at some point, but more as helpers to have an idea. Then they reach to level 2. They start applying more and escalating their level. So in level 2, they concentrate a lot in industry. If you see that other booth that we are exposing there in our expo, it's about motors. They are dealing with PLC, the basics of PLC, but it is very important. Motors, connections, megers, insulators, a variety. I wish we could have more, but we need to go to industry, right? We are planning to do many trips, and this is what the Rinjok ITVET gives. Prepares everybody for us, for our country then. Not have mistakes and for the labor force.
In the area of plumbing, second-year trainee David Funes told us all about this exciting field of study.
Here we have the residential plumbing for storages and sinks. Over there we have treadings. There we have brazing and flaring. Over there we have the 2 different types of sinks. We have bathtubs and shower in one. Back there we have the different types of pumps that we use. And back there we have the different type of heaters. Here we have the different tools that we use in this institution. Right here we learn how to do either industrial, we learn how to do commercial, and we also learn how to do residential. All of these things we learn, we are still on the way to finish this year, but by June we will be finished and ready to be certified. Plumbing is a great trade to learn because everywhere you go there will need plumbers, and it's a very good job. Once you love it, you're always going to exceed in it, and I believe that people should try it out. And plumbing is very good, and you will always get a job for it, so it's going to be a great job for you.
Reporting for CTV3 News, Norma Riz.
Today was the official groundbreaking for a brand new state-of-the-art $1 million pediatric wing at the Northern Regional Hospital. This project has been in the making for several years through a collaboration between the Ministry of Health and Wellness, LEAP Global Missions, and Rotary Orange Walk. A memorandum of understanding was signed for the project, and today works have officially begun. Minister of Health and Wellness, Honorable Kevin Bernard, today highlighted the importance of today's milestone groundbreaking for improved health care in Northern Belize.
As the population grows, there have always been need for new infrastructure, new expansion. And I recall about 3.5 years ago, 3 years ago actually, when I became the Minister of Health, the discussion started in terms of us looking at expanding and building a new pediatric ward. And so the idea was born when the people from Rotary and LEAP came together and approached us at the ministry when we had sought out their support in terms of how can they assist with the construction of this pediatric ward. They quickly jumped on it. They got together their team and they supported the initiative. Of course, the government of Belize is footing majority of the costs, and then they are investing another contribution funding. And so this is a reality that has now been achieved, something that will benefit our young population. It's for young children. As you know, right now, where the pediatric ward exists, they have to be sharing it with surgical ward and so forth. So it's congested already. The hospital has outgrown its space in terms of capacity, and so this will allow and make room for even better support and health service delivery.
This new pediatric wing at the NRH, according to Minister Bernard, falls directly in line with the ministry's commitment to provide universal health coverage for all Belizeans, particularly the youngest in our communities.
This will also add on to, because remember now we are a secondary care facility, and so when there is, as you know, the government removed all fees from secondary care services back in October of 2023, and so that is in addition to the services that pediatrics require. We are looking at in terms of how we are able to expand more specialists within the regions, and so it's a wider vision that we have, but this will add to the services and type of care that we provide for young people and for the general public.
The project is expected to be fully completed by January of next year. And here is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Get the most out of your internet with Centaur's ExpressNet. Are you ready to supercharge your online experience? When connecting to your Velo Mesh device, make sure you're linked to our blazing fast 5 GHz frequency. Why 5 GHz? Faster speeds at a shorter range. 5 GHz is perfect for use in smaller spaces where speed is your top priority. As for the 2.4 GHz, while connection may travel farther, it can lead to slower performance. Remember, choose 5 GHz for your devices and experience the difference instantly. ExpressNet, bringing you the best speeds for the ultimate online experience. For more information, contact us at 380-0101.
Government of Belize and the World Bank Group, WBG, are moving forward with the development of a new country partnership framework, CPF, a 10-year strategy aimed at boosting national resilience and fostering inclusive growth. The Ministry of Economic Transformation, MET, led discussions during an in-country mission by the World Bank team held to shape the design of this long-term framework. The CPF will serve as the World Bank Group's roadmap for its engagement with Belize, focusing on key sectors such as the blue economy, education, agriculture, energy, and transportation. The mission included consultations with line ministers and a broad range of national stakeholders. These meetings are expected to ensure that the final strategy aligns with Belize's national priorities, including Plan Belize and the medium-term development strategy. According to officials, the CPF will be a living document continuously shaped by local insights and emerging needs. It aims to strengthen the relationship between Belize and the World Bank Group while unlocking increased investment and development support across the country. In a move towards modernizing and enhancing financial protection, Belize introduced the micro-insurance regulations to complement the Insurance Act introduced in 2023. With the introduction of these regulations, the insurance sector is now poised to develop micro-insurance products to bridge the financial protection gap and offer vital coverage to the low-income productive sector. Some key highlights to the regulations include the characteristics of microinsurance allow for simplicity in the policy language, while at the same time enhancing the key features of coverage and price. Rules for the conduct of business include provision for product development, pre-contractual sharing of information, and servicing of the policy and procedures for dealing with claims and complaints. New channels of distribution of insurance policies can be used for microinsurance products, allowing easy access for persons living in remote areas of the country. These regulations were developed within the World Bank's Risk Finance Umbrella program, supported by the Swiss Secretariat for Economic Affairs. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, April 7th, here on CTV3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. From all of us here at CTV3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.